Hello everyone, welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Pod. I'm Mark and as always joined by Matthew.
Hello.
And Nathan.
I'm back.
You are back.
Who's back?
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Guess who's back?
Great podcast last time, by the way. Really good listen. I was gutted I weren't on it, to be honest.
Thank you very much. I'm glad somebody listened to it.
Wait.
That's the extra view that we got, so that was good.
One extra download, we'll take that. It's blooming cold though, isn't it?
Tis.
It's like minus, what, 1-3 earlier? It's ridiculous.
We've had 6 foot of snow in the last 2 days.
I think last night it reached like -8 or something. Might be worse than
It was
that.
summer daft. I was absolutely freezing last night.
Definitely felt like -8.
Yeah. And then I went to the football today in the snow, and I came away even colder because of the result. But that's another story. Shall we move on to the news then?
Yep.
Shall we kick off with the Capcom Spotlight? I think that's what they called it, weren't it?
Yeah.
Spotlight.
Yes.
For reasons. I don't know why it's called the Spotlight, but there you go. As opposed to Showcase.
It's to spot the light on games.
Everyone's got their own name on this, so. Directs used, state of play,
Yeah, I guess.
showcase.
I guess so, okay, come on then. What do we kick off with?
Mega Man. Yay.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Hmm?
Thoughts?
I like Mega Man, but I don't like this.
Ooh. Why is that?
I enjoy the platforming side of Mega Man, but I just don't like this Battle Network thing. I don't get it. I've not played any of them before. I mean, it's nice that they've got these bundles together and they're accumulating all the 10 games, but Matt looks very angry.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to get into an argument with me on podcasts these days. What's going on?
It's opinions, isn't
I'm a
it?
peaceful man.
Why do you like it, Matt?
Why do I like it? Because I've played it before, and I just kind of like the changing format for Mega Man. I think it went down a bit of a anime route with it, but I like the idea of almost like I want to say it's turn based exactly, but it's kind of like a grid style battle game really, where you kind of use cards as your power ups and stuff, and try and work strategies while you sort of move around the grid and like what different stuff you can do. I don't know. I got really caught into it when I first played it, so it'd be nice to see it sort of remastered on this. Well, not just Switch, but obviously PS4 and Steam as well at some point.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It was just something different. I always enjoy when series try different things and see how they work.
Well, one thing that is interesting is that it does include all 499 of the battle cards that you could get in Japan. So, I guess for you, it'd be good to give that a try if you've not done that before.
They could have made one more.
No. We could have used one more.
They just want to annoy you, Mark.
Why couldn't they have done 500? My OCD is kicking in.
Yeah. That would just irritate me. But.
Yeah. I've not played some of the later ones in the series, although I imagine a lot of them play quite similar to one another. I just know there was always like 2 games in each generation, like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could play it multiplayer. You might have been. That one escapes me, but no, I'm looking forward to it. So.
Do you know what though? When that Mr. Famous guy came on, I was just like, "Can you just bugger off, mate? You're not adding anything."
What? He's Mr. Famous.
Don't care who he is.
But how famous is it?
He's not very famous. I didn't know who he were.
I will be honest and didn't recognise him.
Oh well.
But,
poor him.
I liked his
Sorry,
jacket.
Mr. Famous.
I'll give him that. He had a cool jacket. I'll give you that, Mr. Famous.
Oh yeah, actually I like his character. I think that's what he's meant to be based on. April 14th. That is coming out very shortly. Only a month away.
Mm-hmm.
What do we see next?
Street Fighter 6.
Yay, mine. Well, there's not much news in this one, to be fair.
Yeah, so they just announced a new colour commentator.
Yeah.
Japanese actress Hikaru Takahashi. Sorry, I have no idea who she is. I'm sure she's very famous in Japan.
Yeah, she said a lot of stuff. It's going to be subbed in 13 different languages, I think they said. So at least we'll be able to read that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I did like the thing they announced about you get a rally support. So basically the commentator will start cheering you on if you put that on.
Yeah.
I quite like that. That's quite nice. Like, it'd be good for me because I'm just really poor at beat 'em ups, so just have someone cheering me on. It'd be quite nice.
Never give up, Mark.
And then just end in disappointment because I'll still
Yeah,
fail.
just as you're getting kicked to death.
Yeah. They're like, better luck next time.
It does look fun though. Like every time I see it, I do want to pick it up. Probably not day one, maybe like a week or so after once the reviews come in, but it does look good. I think we're long overdue a new Street Fighter game. And this is just, for me, it's just built a lot more upon what you'd normally expect from Street Fighter as well. It's gone in like loads of different directions. Like with the hub area, with like the arcade style thing, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think they need to kind of bounce back a little bit from how Street Fighter 5 launched, which was kind of very bare bones-esque. And was only it was PlayStation exclusive, so they kind of lost some of the audience there from the Xbox side. So looks like they've learned the lessons. Got a single player mode, which could be fun depending on how it goes. And obviously you've got your crisp Street Fighter usual fighting. So looking forward to it.
I do wonder if there's going to be some sort of monetization thing there. Because this seems to be happening with a lot of games like this nowadays.
Shush, Mark.
It's like, you're going to pay £10 for this new character.
Why are you saying this? Shut up.
I've not given them ideas. Believe me, they've already thought about these ideas long ago.
Well,
it's not just Street Fighter, is it?
I could definitely see, costumes, new costumes would definitely be DLC, because they did that for Street Fighter 5.
Special moves.
What I'm kind of hoping is, with how the Battle Hub stuff kind of looks like, the direction they're taking it, I've almost got a fear of if they start adding extra games to it that you could access, that they make them monetize as well. Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to play Street Fighter 4? Well, cough up money.
Do you know one thing I'm thinking about? After you've won the fight, emotes and dances like Fortnite after you've won.
What, flossing afterwards?
Yeah.
Can we move on already?
You put your money down already, you know.
Yeah, he's already got it pre-ordered especially for it.
Can't wait for that. Use it shush emote.
Let me just do the dolphin on your body.
That's the finisher, mate.
Yeah. That's a special move, this is.
Okay, what on earth was this next bit about then?
What, the Capcom Pro Tour?
Is that what it was called?
Oh, that's what was announced. That's still part of the Street Fighter 6 stuff. So
I've gone ahead.
The fighting tournaments that they're going to be involved in Street Fighter 6.
Big money involved though. $1 million for the winner.
I've heard, yeah.
A $2 million pot, so profitable.
Makes me really jealous. I wish I was actually good at fighting games.
Hey, it pays to get good.
I'd be a millionaire by now. Fair play to whoever wins. It's good that they're actually putting some serious money into it as well. Really putting a big spotlight on esports and stuff and making them more serious about it.
Yeah.
Does esports need to be any more serious?
I was just going to say,
well, I mean, they've got their own Olympic event coming up. Gran Turismo things there, and I read somewhere I don't know what to think about all that. Some mobile tennis game. I was like, what? How is that esports? Let's Street Fighter.
Maybe one day. But it's the way the world's going, isn't it? Unfortunately, in some people's opinions.
Aye. I guess.
Hey, you never know. They could one day do pro clubs in the Olympics.
Well, we certainly
we'd get
wouldn't be in it.
smashed.
Represent the United Kingdom.
We would not be, no. No. Oh, not happen.
Unless we get the Mormon Pirates in the final.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what, though? Knowing our luck, since we spanked them, they've been training, and they're just much better than us now. Yeah. So
they're just waiting for the revenge. They're desperate to find us.
But PS5, just so that they could find us again.
Yeah. Alright,
anyway.
We got quite off topic there. We'll swing back to what Mark was earlier referring to. What was it? Capcom Town.
Yeah.
Digital theme park.
What?
Hey, I've always wanted to go to a digital theme park. I don't know what it is, but
I've always wanted to go to a real one.
Oh.
It's alright, we'll go to Super Mario World at some point.
Oh, that'd be sick. To be honest, I didn't know Capcom were that old because they're doing this as part of their 40th anniversary celebrations. So, one thing that I found interesting was that there was going to be like a museum in there, which could be quite cool.
Full of NFTs.
That's exactly what in my mind. I was like, what is this going down that road?
Nah, I don't think they'll do NFTs. They're dead, mate. They're dead.
That's not stop people trying, though, has it?
He's bloody. They're still happy about him. But
that will come.
So last year.
That's around June, isn't it? It's actually almost when Street Fighter comes out.
June the 12th.
Oh, pretty close actually, yeah. Because Street Fighter is June the 2nd. And then there's some extra stuff about Capcom ID. Oh, yeah. I think this is how they're going to push forward with cross-play stuff.
This is how they're gonna push for getting your data and selling it to other people.
Well, there's that as well, you know. So, but it will be required. It will be a login that's required for online play for future games. So, I can definitely see. Obviously, Street Fighter will probably be one of them. Whatever next Resident Evil as well, probably.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, maybe for this next game.
Yeah. Exoprimal. I think it looks fun. I just want to shoot some dinosaurs.
It looks like proper Japanese craziness. I'm absolutely here for it.
It does look pretty cool.
Oh, your guy's standards are slipping. It looks tedious.
Slipping? With our best standards, mate.
It looks dull.
Killing hordes of dinosaurs.
It looks pants.
Oh,
it's so generic.
You just have no fun in it, do you?
Generic. What's generic about chucking 1,000 dinosaurs into a hole?
I have a lot of fun in me, but no. I
have more fun in my pinky than you do.
Anyway, we're getting off topic here. I just don't think it looks very interesting. Go on, then. Defend it. Tell me why I should like this.
Defend it? What's to defend?
Because you can kill dinosaurs with mechs.
Man. What else do you
need?
Okay, you can. Right, that's it. That's your defence. You can kill dinosaurs.
That's the unique selling point. Yes.
Don't
you find the human characters in it just really irritating?
Not really. You can
I find it quite classic Japanese kind of humour.
Irritating.
No, it's kind of like the MC.
Just
on steroids. DMC. Devil May Cry.
I thought you said the MC.
Run DMC.
DMC. Devil May... Alright.
No, I just think it looks far too generic for my liking.
Well, there is an open beta
coming the
17th of March.
Yeah, and I'm not
the 19th.
Right, dare.
No.
Dare.
Dare me.
Double dare.
Triple dare.
Coward!
No. I need to look after the hard drive space. I'm not downloading this.
You can delete FIFA. You've wanted to delete it for a while.
That's true. You were talking about getting rid of it the other day.
There you go.
No, you said it. I did actually delete it. And then, because I'm such a coward, I reinstalled it. Yeah.
I'm
Like
playing
about
it in like 5
an
minutes.
hour afterwards, I'm like, yeah, I'll put that back on.
I'll put that back. It's just one bad night.
Yeah.
Well, there's no convincing you, but yes, there is a 2-day open beta test starting on March 17th for all those who want to give it a go.
I did try signing up.
Online only game.
Well, that is it. You've got to be online all the time for it. So
Most games are like that nowadays.
Yeah. And I don't have to like it.
Okay, but that's not negative against that. It's negative against the industry.
It's a negative against any game that does it.
Also, on Xbox Game Pass, day 1. There you go. Now you got another reason to try it.
What?
Xbox Game Pass, and you still got it.
I've got Xbox Game Pass.
What? I thought you did.
Oh, I've not used the thing.
Well, you can use it when this comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use it for this. Okay.
Yes, there you go.
This is the
I'll
game.
have it now.
And then they also announced the Survival Pass. Yay. Don't care.
Alright, it's alright, all games have survival.
Well,
not for me.
In Exo Primal's credit, there is a free system.
They always do
a
this,
paid
don't
tier.
they?
Well, it's the same, Rocket League does it, Fortnite does it,
And
COD
that's
to an
why
extent
I
does it.
don't play any of those games.
You play
Play COD and Rocket League.
I haven't
You've
played
played COD.
I haven't played COD since the opening week.
What did you buy it for?
I don't know, because I'm an idiot. That's
To
why.
play on the opening week.
Jesus.
Got suckered into the Modern Warfare 2 now.
Ah.
Anyway.
So that campaign was like, delish, and then that was it.
Yeah. Just give me the campaign. Get rid of the multiplayer. Just
I say, if I could just pay 20 quid for campaign only.
I can hear all the COD people like absolutely mind blown by my statement then.
It's fine.
Just
I know
campaign,
quite a
just the
few
campaign.
people that just play the campaign, so. Anyway, again, we've gone off topic. Next game, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective.
Intriguing.
That's quite like this.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we got another look at it.
Is this a remake of?
It's a HD remaster.
Right.
It was on the Nintendo DS originally, so.
So this game, you play as Cecil, who gets killed, and then you reawaken without a memory. And then you've got to try and solve mysteries with the power of the dead. So you can control things in the living world, and objects. And you can also go back in time 4 minutes when somebody dies to try and use that power to keep them alive.
4 minutes is oddly specific.
Yeah. That's enough.
Well,
Hopefully.
I'm sure it is. But
Nintendo and time travel always seems quite specific.
But maybe it's the 4 minutes because when it came out on the DS, people think, oh, I'll just have a 5-minute game on this and that's enough for like one round of trying to save someone's life.
Yeah, could be. Could be that's how it works.
guess that's logical.
But yeah, on this, I did like it when the original creator came on because he just looked like an old fisherman. I really liked him. And he was talking about all the tracks that have been remastered. So there's 37 tracks, and you can switch between the original track and the new track, which is quite nice. Always nice to see. But I mean, to be honest, if this game gets to a reasonable price, I'd be inclined to give it a go. It's something a bit different.
Yeah, I don't see many other games like it. I might be tempted at a good price like you.
Yeah. So this is out for PlayStation, Xbox and Steam. It's going to be out on the 30th of June. So only 3 months away. Do you know what? That's one thing that I have noticed about this entire Spotlight is there's not too much on the Switch. It's mostly Xbox, Steam and PlayStation.
True.
Which is quite strange for me because I always saw Capcom as more a Nintendo leaning company. That's just my view of it.
Yeah, I can see why you say that. But I wonder, any theories of what the reason might be?
I just don't think the Switch is powerful enough to play these games.
Well, yeah, probably. Interesting. Conspiracy!
Yeah, I was just saying, Matt, that there's only like a couple of games as part of this Spotlight that's actually for Switch. Or part of the Switch's library. Most of it's Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam.
Well, it is Capcom. It doesn't need to necessarily stay to Switch.
I know it doesn't, but it just seems weird.
Well, I mean, what do we get? We got we had Mega Man. That's on the Switch. Ghost Trick, obviously Switch.
Is it Switch?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Monster Hunter Rise.
Jumping ahead.
Obviously, the original Monster Hunter Rise was on original Switch. Well, originally it was on the Switch. So, no, there's plenty. There's plenty. But I can see what you mean. I do feel like at some point there was meant to be a more powerful Switch, and then pandemic just kind of crushed those plans.
Mark's like, no, we're not blaming pandemic.
Well,
Nah, they never did that, mate.
well, I don't know. I mean, there was all sorts of rumours,
Yeah,
chip
rumours.
shortages. They couldn't get chips that they really wanted to, so they kind of had to like reverse on them. Stop giving me that face. Stop it.
So just thought, we're going to make a half-assed one instead.
That's it. Put literally $14 worth of hardware in and charge us 330 quid for pleasure to buy pretty much the same console again.
Of course. Just admit you got duped, Mark.
Duped.
I can already see the dust gathering on those.
On those Joy-Cons.
Tell me the last time you played. Well, actually, maybe we'll find out.
Yesterday.
See?
Sick burn. Right, anyway, shall we move on to the next game?
So what was next?
Monster Hunter Rise.
Sunbrick.
And they also announced it was coming to Xbox Series X, S, Steam, PS4 and PS5.
Missed one.
Did I?
Smart fridge?
Yes. Also called an Xbox One.
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Yep. Also coming on that thing.
That's nice.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Nah, what? You got a smart delivery. That'll be fine.
Well, if Monster Hunter Rise can run on the Switch, it can run on the OG Xbox One.
Oh, my struggle there.
I said run, not run well.
True. No, that is true. That's true.
Yeah.
I do like to look at this though. I think I might get it for PS5. Maybe not when it comes out, but like certainly sometime afterwards. Because I liked the original Monster Hunter World. I never got around to really completing it. So, well, I didn't play Iceborne. I think it was the expansion for Monster Hunter World. Could be wrong. So, well, I enjoyed my time with it.
Funnily enough, I've actually got Monster Hunter Rise on Switch. It's still in the wrapper.
And it still will be once this version comes out.
It's because
I'm going to trade it in.
We watched another Capcom event, like probably a few months ago now, and Sunbreak looked quite good. So we're like, I'll just get Rise and just see if it's any good, because I got an insane deal on it. I got it for like 14 quid or something. It was great. But yeah, I do need to give that a go at some point.
So good, you not even played it.
Yeah. Obviously, there's so much other stuff to
Part of
play.
the backlog.
Yeah, that's it. The ever-growing backlog.
No, it does.
Right.
It does look good. I feel like Monster Hunter would be quite an interesting series for us to get into, but I don't think Mark's really interested in that kind of.
I'm not touching it with the barge ball.
See, I swear he's xenophobic for
Oh, say that.
Japanese.
Hang on, is this the thing that's on the PS collection? Or am I confusing it with something else?
That's Monster
Hunter World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
So that was like the game before.
Okay. Scratch that then. So I was going to say, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god, I might have got it then.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh, could always go back to World at some point. Free game, Mark. Free game. Anyway.
I don't have free time though.
That's
No,
true.
that's true. Yeah.
Using the most valuable commodity you've got.
Exactly.
Right, shall we move on
Money
to your
can't buy you
favourite
time.
bit, Mark? Mark?
Yeah, my favourite bit.
Well, yeah, it probably was Mark's favourite bit.
That's true,
everything
actually.
else, though.
Yeah. Your favourite bit, Mark?
Resident Evil news.
Resident Evil. I swear we talk about. I think I've said this before. Like we talk about Resident Evil almost like every podcast.
No, but you talk about Resident Evil every podcast.
Oh yeah, sorry. That is true. So.
I was interested by this first announcement though.
Oh, Resident Evil Death Island.
Yeah.
The CG movie. Interesting concepts. I feel like they've done islands and prisons before, but doing Alcatraz is quite an interesting concept.
Alcatraz.
Having the aquatic bioweapons as well will be interesting. The big old shark and the swimmable liquors. That's quite interesting.
The swimmable liquors.
That's what they're called. That is what they're called. But yeah,
That's what I'm going to call sharks from now on.
The
The swimmable liquors.
The other. It's fine. It's fine.
It's a swimmable liquor. Carry on.
Gonna lick someone's leg off.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm liking the look of this anyway, because this is the first time that Jill Van Dyne's going to be in a CG movie, interestingly enough. Also, technically her first appearance chronically after Resident Evil 5, because they've said something interesting about her, I suppose to try and throw a spoiler, Resident Evil 3, she just gets infected but then gets cured. But they're trying to explain here that why she still looks like her Resident Evil 3 counterpart, other than maybe potentially laziness on the developers' part of it, is that the virus has somehow made her age slowly.
Oh, that old chestnut.
So although like Chris and Leon's looks are quite more older than normal, like she's like, yep, I still look like how I did 20 years ago. I'm like, no. But it'd be cool. First time she's teamed up with Leon as well and anything, so I'd be interested to see how what the story is and that. And if it's actually canon to any of the story, because the story's all over the place.
But then we got to the meaty stuff, didn't we?
Yes.
Resident Evil 4. And the announcement of, I think, something we already knew. But a demo.
Yes.
But a different kind of demo than I think we expected.
Yeah. Throwing away traditional sense for the last few demos that they've done, where they normally announce the demo and it's sort of on a time basis. So you normally have about 30 minutes to have a play around, which was for, I think it started with Remake 2, went on to Remake 3, and there was also same for Village, although they eventually started doing sort of 60-minute demos. But it was normally you get one go and that's kind of it. Whereas here, it was said, play as much as you want.
Yeah.
No time limits.
I'm guessing it was actually shorter though.
I've seen an average playtime of around 25-30 minutes, so.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad then.
But there's other stuff in it.
But they call this the chainsaw demo, don't they?
Yes.
I'm presuming because it had the chainsaw line in it.
Yes, not Mr. Dr. Salvador is his name. And he will like to see you now with his chainsaw. So, it's basically almost essentially sort of the first section of the game, sort of chapter 1 they would call it, where you play as Leon. You're going through little sort of village, and then eventually you'll get hoarded on, so you gotta sort of survive. survive for as long as you can, really. So, very excited by this demo. Any of you guys? Would you play more?
Well, I'm not going to play the game, so I'm not getting you.
Oh,
I've already told you hard life. Hard drive space.
Hard life, half time.
Hard drive, half life. Hard life.
It's catching on.
No, again.
Yeah.
Gordon insists.
Yeah, I liked the look of this. I downloaded the demo earlier on today, and it went horribly.
Oh dear.
I don't know whether to save this for later, of like currently playing, or whether to just talk about it now. Should I talk about it now quickly? Yes, on it. Let's do it.
You've opened up the bottle, so.
So, obviously, as you know, he starts out as Draco Malfoy, and
Sure.
Leon.
Gonna shove that wand up your backside.
Sorry, I've just been playing too much Hogwarts Legacy anyway. So yeah, you start as, well, you play as Leon, and honestly, from the second I started, I was crapping myself, because I heard this like growling in the woods as I was like trying to traverse through, and so I was scared, like from like the first like 20 seconds, and eventually you find your way into this house, and you go through and you find this like makeshift cross that this person's made. And you can kind of read it on the back. I can't remember what it says, but it's ominous, whatever it says. And then you find your way to this guy, and he's making this stew, and you think, oh, cool, he's going to help me out. Plot twist, he doesn't help you out and tries to kill you. And then...
In a Resident Evil game. Blimey.
I know.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what he's been cooking, a nice tasty stew. So I go up and have a look at it. And it's absolutely rank. I don't know what is used to make it, like dust and God knows what else. But yeah, that was terrible. Anyway, I was crapping myself going through this house, getting chased by... Are they zombies? They are zombies, aren't they? Would we call them zombies?
I call them zombies.
In effect, yeah. They're meant to be known as Ganados. So. Okay.
Getting chased by these Ganados. Anyway, I managed to get my gun, kill them after putting like 2 clips into one of them. And then 3 more turn up. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not going to end well. Anyway, I somehow managed to melee the others eventually and get out of this house. And I go down this path, and there was this one standing there, and I shot it twice in the head. Its head was like hanging off, and it fell to the ground. And then it gave me a prompt to melee it. And I was like, no, it's fine. His head's hanging off. He's not going to be alive. Anyway, it proceeds to get up, come after me. And I put another clip into it before it dies. So I've got literally 2 bullets left at this point. And I get into this village square. And I use my binoculars. And the Ganados, is that right, set this police officer on fire. And then I'm like, oh, damn. I've got to do something. So while we've got the advantage, I shoot one of them in the head. And then they all proceed to come after me. Because I thought, oh, there's 3. I'll be able to get around it. There wasn't 3. There was about 15 of them. All chasing me down. Like holding me. So I'm like trying to get away from them. Anyway, I do a really good job of running around this village trying to evade them. And eventually it comes to a cutscene where this person with a chainsaw comes through the gate. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. This person's going to help me. The chainsaw guy did not help me.
You're far too trusting with these people.
Yeah, why would you think...
Well,
these people are going to help me.
I thought...
This guy with a bag over his head, holding a chainsaw.
Yeah. Well, it's called... what's the demo called again? Chainsaw demo. I thought, yeah, he's going to help me. But anyway...
The mini-boss.
He joins the mob. And between the mob and him, I just die. And then that was my 15, 20 minutes of playing it. And I was like, right, I've got to go and get some lunch because I'm emotionally drained from this experience. But to be honest, for what it's worth, I did actually quite enjoy it, apart from getting torn limb from limb.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I thought I'd just tell you that. I thought you'd get a kick out of it. me thinking there was hope, but it just got worse.
Oh, dear. So naive.
I know, I'll learn one of these days. I won't learn. Oh, you'll like this as well. Was it Resident Evil Origins that I played that time, where I just kept pushing the zombie over?
Well, I mean, it was like the remake of the first game, but yeah, that's what you were playing.
Yeah. Anyway, I did something similar when I came across my first zombie. And, like, they were down on the floor, and then, like, literally about 3 seconds later, started getting up again. I'm like, oh no. I should have just meleeed you with neck when I had the chance, but...
I should have pushed you over.
Yeah. I say I might get it. No, I probably won't. I'll keep trying to play the demo though, I think, and see if I can actually get through it.
Okay.
Just an all melee run.
Just all
Just go for
knife.
it. Yeah.
That might be difficult. No, it's got durability, so... Yeah, it's only going to last so long. Oh, well, I think that was the end of the spotlight for us.
What would you highlight? You can say Resident
Resident
Evil.
Evil. Pretty much Resident Evil news.
Exoprimal.
And Exoprimal, yeah.
I don't believe you for a second. But go on. I'm going to go Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's my second choice after Exoprimal.
Right, any other news?
Yeah, shall we stick to Japan?
Okay.
So, Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
They have made the decision to dissolve Luminous Productions, the developer, who only about a month ago released Forspoken.
Well, I'm not surprised because Forspoken's not done very well.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It's a bit of a drastic decision, though, isn't it? To suddenly just dissolve it and basically they're going to merge it with the publisher itself.
At least hopefully not many people lose their jobs then.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think.
Yeah.
That is the positive to be from it. But saying that, I don't think they've actually made many games beforehand anyway. I think they had a previous old name and they did a Final Fantasy game. But I don't know which one it was. But they did it under a different name. I might have to look that up. But this merger will happen on May the 1st. But yeah, that's just a bit of a drastic decision to do so quickly. 1 month. But saying that, Square Enix doesn't surprise me, really. They make a lot of drastic decisions, to be quite honest. But that's not the end of Square Enix. They have replaced their director.
Really?
So, Yosuke Matsuda is being replaced as president and representative director. So, I don't know if you remember this, but this is the guy who, for the past couple of New Years, has been releasing these weird statements about basically pushing NFTs and the blockchain.
Yeah.
The idea, claiming that it's the future for them and the company and all that, and insisting it's what we all want. No, it isn't. And he was just like obsessed with this nonsense. And there were just like atrocious statements that gamers just don't want to hear. But he's getting the boot. Well, he's not getting the boot. I think he's just getting, he's sidestepping somewhere else, I think, in the company. And he's being replaced by a guy called Takashi Kiryu. Not that Kiryu. And this is due to happen pending approval in June. And at first you might think, oh, that's great. F that guy. The one about the NFTs. That's until you research the new chap who's coming in. So it turns out he's only been at Square Enix a short time. And before that, he was general manager at a company called Dentsu Innovation Initiative, who, yes, you've guessed it, are a business group that explored opportunities, including the metaverse.
Oh, of course.
So if anything, it seems like they're doubling down on this whole thing. as opposed to quashing it. So that's quite sad, I think. I think they just wanted someone who was a bit more experienced in that. And that's why they did it. As opposed to, we don't like his ideas.
I mean, it might be, as a positive spin, it might be that they're looking to create more virtual experiences or AR experiences for PSVR 2. So maybe they're looking for somebody that's had a bit more time in that space.
Do you know how I previously just said, oh, naive Nathan? Yeah, I can't put a positive spin on this.
This is the guy with the chainsaw again, isn't it?
I can only just look at this as just being a bad thing. Well, to be honest, it would have been bad either way. Whichever one they kept in charge. They were both clearly got the same ideas. But yeah. Square Enix. Yay. Anything else?
Well, just a quick note on Luminous Productions. The game that they worked on before Forspoken was Final Fantasy 15.
50. Do you know what name it was under? I can't remember. I think they did it under a different name, didn't they? I think.
They might have done that. There's a lot that I see one that stayed as Business Division 2, but I don't think that was it.
I don't think that might be, actually. Now you've said that, I think that might have been it.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry. It was originally known as Business Division 2, which was the development team responsible for Final Fantasy 15.
Maybe that's what they're going to do next. They're going to change the name again. Listen to the game.
Maybe. I can actually see the link between Forspoken and Final Fantasy 15 now, actually. So a lot of the animation and movement looks quite similar, actually, so. That's a bit of a shame, actually. I actually quite enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. I know I got a lot of split opinions when it initially came out, but I actually thought, gameplay-wise, it was quite good. It was quite different for Final Fantasy. But that's what happens when you make a new IP and people just don't like it.
Yeah, win some, you lose some. So, you might have noticed that recently we've had a new firmware update on your PS5. So this has introduced a few upgrades. So I've just picked out the ones that I personally like the best. So firstly, there's support for VRR at 1440p, so that's variable refresh rate. So rather than maxing out at 60 frames per second, if your monitor can take it, then you can push that up if you want to. So you've got that as a new option now. There's Discord integration. So previously you had to go onto your phone and set up a Discord server there and call each other that way, but now it's integrated directly onto the PS5 so that you can make calls within Discord on your PS5. Now you do need to link your account, so you'll have to do that. But that's there for you now if you want to use it. There's also voice control. So now if you say, hey PlayStation, you can give it commands like, for example, start recording, or hey PlayStation, record the last 5 minutes. So instead of having to click your share button or double click to do whatever you want it to do, you can now use that. You can also see, if you hover over a game in your main menu, how long you've played it for and what percentage you've done of that game, which is quite heartbreaking when I look at how much time I put into FIFA. But it is quite good because I can see like how long I've played Hogwarts Legacy, how long I've played Yakuza 4 and games like that where previously I might not have known. So that's pretty cool. And there's also now an option. So if you've got two PS5s, you can now transfer data from PS5 to PS5. So if anyone's got two, you can now do that if you want. And there's also an option now for viewing just your VR games. So this has come, now we've got PSVR 2. So if you just want to see your VR library, you can now just click an option for that. So yeah, I think there's a few good additions in there. There's a few more things that they've added, but that was just like the main stuff that I picked up on. It's good.
I don't think I've known anyone use the voice commands.
I tried earlier.
Like, they were on PS4 as well. I did it as like a fun little test to see how it works and stuff, but like, as like main usage, I don't know, I'm a traditionalist. I always want to use click buttons.
I just find clicking the share button would just be quicker.
That's what I would think, yeah.
If you're in the middle of a game, it might take away from what you're doing if it's a really fast-paced game.
I think it's good as a accessibility option. I think definitely is like accessibility.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Great for those when needed. Yeah. Discord stuff, really good. Now I don't have to talk to my friends on PC if we're doing Fortnite and just connect directly through PlayStation, so that'll be good. And any other cross-play game, I suppose. Might just start playing Rocket League on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, funnily enough, now you said that, there's one thing I forgot. The sharing stuff that they've added. So if you're playing a game and you want one of your friends to give it a try, you can invite them to play your game. So they'll be playing it instead of you.
I thought that already existed.
Yeah, I thought that was like part of the remote play stuff.
Is it? Oh. I've not really heard anyone talk about it until recently, so I thought it was part of the upgrade.
Because I've invited my brother a while ago to play Ghost of Tsushima. So he's not played it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he likes
That's
it.
pretty cool.
He's still not bought it though.
I'd have an ulterior motive for inviting people into my games. Like if I got to a really hard bit, I'd say, come on, jump on and get it sorted.
Yeah.
I bet you can't do this.
The first-hand experience of that.
I did Breath of the Wild all on my own. No, Matt helped me with Ganon. I did phase 2
with Ganon, it was like one of that Thunder
the
Ganon
elephant
as well.
thing? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
That one that moves real quick. Like myself, it took me about bloody 30 odd tries. And he's like, "Oh yeah, could you just Matt?" What? What did you say?
See, gaming's about collaboration.
Flashbacks. Yeah, no, I think it should be a good little feature for others that need to use it. So, we got quite a bit of Pokemon news over the last week or so.
Yeah.
I heard there was a bit of a negative side to it though. To start us off, I think you've heard rumblings of a save glitch bug.
Yeah. So for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, if you connect your Pokemon Go app or download the DLC, it started causing your entire save file to corrupt. So that's since the latest patch that they brought out that it started doing that. So if anyone's currently on a save and they don't want to lose what they're working on, don't connect your Pokemon Go app or download the latest DLC until they've done a patch for this. Because I know I'd hate to lose my save and I don't want anyone to lose theirs. But subsequently, there has been a, in air quotes, fix for this. So if you are experiencing it, you can give this a try. So firstly, what you need to do is check if you're actually getting the save data corrupted error and not just a regular crash, because then you can go online and find a different fix for that. So what you can do is if you open up an alternate Nintendo Switch account, or use a different existing one to what you've got your save on, and then use this account to play the game. At the point you can save it, and then basically it will reenact. You can redo your save on that other account. So it's not everything will be lost. So you've got to basically set up another account, and then put your game in on and load it against the other account, and then that has worked. So people have tried that with Switch Lites, OLEDs, and normal Switches. And and they seem to be getting some success that way. So if you're having a problem, you can do that as a bit of a workaround until it's actually fixed.
I actually thought the way you were describing it was like, right, we got a workaround. Create a new save. Start again.
Yeah, that's it.
Just start again. That's all you need to do. Just start again. It sounded like that's where you're going. I was like, that's not a workaround. That's a hard work again. I'm going to put 200 more hours in there.
Who puts 200 out? Oh, wait a minute, I do.
You don't. I do. Well, that wasn't all on the Pokemon news front, because we ended up having a bit of a Pokemon Day event that happened with a lot of Pokemon news that came out here. So the first thing that got revealed was the Pokemon World Championships, which is going to be held in Yokohama, Japan this year. This is essentially just a place where they have Pokemon competitions and the games and the card game as well. So basically, here's going to be like a new championships for those, which is cool. I think like a couple of years ago it was held in London, which was pretty cool. Kind of wish I actually went to it. So there's that. Then we had an announcement from Netflix that they're going to be making a animated Pokemon series.
What? Not Pokemon?
Yes, not Pokemon.
But Pokemon?
Yes. That one. Yeah, so it's going to be called Pokemon Consurge. I've probably butchered that word. I will paste that in the chat and someone can tell me.
Excuse me?
What it's actually called.
Concierge.
Concierge, yeah. It was a very, very small teaser trailer, really, where you had this kind of, it's almost like a stop motion, like a stop/claymation, animation to it. We had this kind of girl who's kind of come up to the beach, she looks up to the sun, and then there's a little Psyduck that comes next to her and quacks, and that's about it. So, not much to be known other than it's a stop motion series on a vacation resort. No release date, but we'll see how that goes. Next was an update on Pokemon Unite. So, the legendary Pokemon Zacian from Pokemon Sword is going to be playable, which is interesting. Nothing else other than that. There's going to be an update to Pokemon Cafe Remix, where you'll be able to get Star Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet in there, and some other Pokemon. There's going to be an update to Pokemon Masters EX, where the 3 rivals from Sword and Shield are going to be introduced. So that is Marnie, who is the sort of little goth girl in Team Shout? Team Star, something like that. I've forgotten. Team Yell. That's it, Team Yell. Hop's going to be in it, and Biddy. Forgot what that is. I think that's the ghost gym trainer. Anyway. Something that was announced years ago that's actually real and is coming. Pokemon Sleep. It's a real thing where if you
Pokemon
sleep. Yeah. So you'll catch Pokemon while you go to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. So it's essentially like a sleep tracking app that involves Pokemon as well. And depending on what kind of sleeper you are, you can get different Pokemon in it.
What?
I implore you to watch the trailer, and it'll explain everything, and also still leave you with why have we made this? Along with that, though, there's a gadget that you can get for it, which will also integrate with Pokemon Go, and it's called Pokemon Go Plus.
What?
Exactly.
Plus.
Yep. It's like a kind of like a big Pokeball, like flat thing. It's meant to help with the Pokemon sleep as well, be able to track your sleep better. I don't know. Pokemon things. Mark looks perplexed as always.
I'll buy it. If it helps me on Pokemon Go, I'm having it.
Buy that for $1.
It's not going to be $1, unfortunately.
Well, probably not. So, moving on from that. Oh, you can get that on July the 14th, apparently. That's the plus. I don't know when Sleep's coming out. Right. Then moving on to Scarlet and Violet news. We're getting 2 new Paradox Pokemon. That will be available in the raids, I believe, that's going on. The My Oregano. So for Scarlet, you'll be getting the Pokemon Walking Wake, which is a Paradox version of Suicune, legendary water dog Pokemon from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Violet gets the chance to catch Iron Leaves, who is essentially a futuristic version of Virizion, who is a legendary Pokemon from... Mind escapes me. I want to say Diamond and Pearl. Might be Black and White. I can't remember. That area escapes me. But they'll be available in Terra raids. So.
Yeah, I think it's Black and White, that one.
Black and White, thank you.
They look cool though.
What you can also do is, if you did link your Go account, Scarlet or Violet, you'll be able to spawn Gimmighoul in Pokemon Go, which is the so they're like the ghost Pokemon that loves coins.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah. There's been like a few of them like hanging around that you can't catch recently.
Yeah.
Well, I say recently, over the last few months on Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I think I might have to do it. I'm going to sacrifice the save and link my Pokemon Go account.
Okay. Well, you do that. I've still yet to touch it from the last time I spoke about it, which has been about 2 or 3 months. So, which is very unlike me. I'm normally like, as soon as I get a Pokemon game, I'm on it. But for whatever reason, I'm just like, I'm out of other stuff, unfortunately. And then the last piece of news, which Niffin highlighted a little bit in his previous news, is that Scarlet and Violet are getting DLC. So, I think similar to what happened in Sword and Shield, there's going to be a couple that come out. Apparently this DLC is coming in 2 parts. So it is called The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, which will take you beyond Paldera, so it looks like we're getting a new region. First part of it is called Teal Mask, which is coming out this autumn. It's saying here the adventure will take players on a school trip in the Kitakami region. Ooh, maybe going back to Japanese region, perhaps? The Indigo Disc takes you to Blueberry Academy as an exchange student and will be coming later this winter. You'll be able to catch legendary Ogapon and Terrapagos, or Pagos, as well as Pokemon from all the generations that are version dependent. I believe they did briefly talk about the second one as well, but I think that's coming sometime much later this year, or perhaps 2014. I can't remember exactly now, but yep, a lot of big Pokemon news. Always looking forward to new DLC to games and stuff. Keep the games going. I need to start playing it. I need to catch up.
Play it. It is good.
I'm sure Mark will be all over that.
Chance to be a fine thing.
Over what?
Exactly. I don't think he's even known what we were talking about for the last 5 minutes. Anyway, other news.
Should we talk delays?
Oh, do we have to?
So
it's been delayed now.
Starfield, that game.
Oh no, not that game.
So initially, it was given the release date of the 11th of November, 2022. Mm-hmm. And then it got pushed to the first half of this year, 2023. And now it's been delayed yet again, with the release now slated for September the 6th, 2023. Quite a while away. I mean, as we said before, just get it right. You know, don't mind delays, just get it right. But yeah. I think game makers need to stop being so ridiculously ambitious when it comes to time frames.
Yeah, but you know what Bethesda's like.
Well, it's everyone really now, though, isn't it? It's like it means it's almost a year after the initial release date. That means it must have been wildly optimistic to meet that deadline to begin with. So why make it in the first place? It's just, I feel like now you should have a deadline and then add an extra year. That's just the way it feels now. Because it's always more polish. I'm getting sick of hearing that term now. More polish.
Oh.
Just get it right. But, well, they did say there would be a Starfield Direct on June the 11th.
Oh, that'll be good.
So we'll learn more about it.
We'd see more of the game anyway, so.
Yeah, we do. Because there was questionable parts from that thing they did a few months ago.
I think what I really want to see is more about the space combat aspect of it. Like, what's that going to look like? What is it like, hopping from galaxy to galaxy? What does that look like?
It's not that. I want more resource gathering and farming.
Yeah, I want more Minecraft in me Starfields.
Yeah, that's the bit that does worry me. But we'll see.
Well, that's not the only reported game to have been delayed. Although I will specify with this piece of news that there is rumoured to be delayed. It is not confirmed.
Yeah.
But it is coming from quite a reliable source. As always from Mr. Jason. Is it Schreier?
Yep.
I got it right. I know the butcher is listening. I'll just ask for you. So, Jason Schreier did make an article on Bloomberg, which I will not be subscribing to, so I'll just take whatever tidbits Kotaku took from. So it's looking as though
cheapskate.
Our good old
no expense spared
game that we never debate about at all, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, might be getting a delay from its planned May release to sometime later this year.
For more polish.
For all that nail polish.
Yeah.
Is stating that it's not due to any negative feedback or backlash that they received from the last time we saw the game.
The thing is, they can't overhaul it anyway. They're too far down the rabbit hole. So.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like, I
think any changes.
It really feels like the live service part of the game was thrown in at a time when like that was still popular, or it was like still in its quite infancy, and then like as this game has been developed, delayed, we've just seen a ton of backlash and dead live service games now, where it's just like, should we have really gone down this route? But I mean, I trust that the gameplay which still looks pretty good from my point of view. I know Mark has opinions about that.
We'll beg to differ on that one, but
we will agree to disagree.
We'll just have to see when it comes to it.
Yeah, we'll see what reviews are like. I'm sure the live stuff is going to be rubbish anyway, so it's probably the one thing that we can agree about. But yeah, looks like it might be getting delayed, which, I mean, could be a good thing, because I feel like there's some big releases coming around in May anyway. Like, Zelda.
Zelda.
Zelda's there.
Like, Diablo.
Anything that comes out around Zelda's gonna get ruined. Just ask the original Horizon Zero Dawn. Diablo as well. Big PC game, It's gonna get absolutely ignored. So it's a good thing that it's moving right next to Starfield. Probably. Or whatever the next Call of Duty is. Right, well, shall we finish on something that I'm pretty sure Nathan has been looking forward to for 15 years?
Yeah. Since I were a fetus, I've been looking forward to this.
All
50
right, that's
years
a
feet.
long time to be a
Right.
fetus. Like, just getting an infancy and then was cryo-frozen for 50
Yeah.
years.
That's it.
And then he grew into an adult. Yeah.
Has it?
Well, that's debatable, isn't it?
So come on, what is it? What is this 15-year thing then?
So, I believe it was after a esports event. It's called Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2023. Other than, I believe some news over, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Fighters, getting a new balance patch and whatnot, they announced a new game in a game series that we've not seen for 15 years.
Yep.
What is that game?
Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi.
Mm.
So they came out with the first 3, and now we're getting number 4.
Yes. And we got a little teaser trailer as well. So we had like a bit of one of those classic trailers where you see the old games in a CRT TV or one of those old screen TVs. Got to see what they look like, and then towards the end you had like a little bit of a animation of seeing Goku doing his power up in one of the old games, and they transitioned into what looked to be Unreal Engine 4 or 5, whatever they're using, and essentially replicating the same scene. Only now, instead of turning into a Super Saiyan, it's turned into a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan Blue.
Or Super Saiyan Blue for the official name that they eventually called it. Because that stuff is too long-winded. I would say actually I already kind of like the look of the game already, even though it's very, very short. Like style-wise, I quite like it. I do wonder what they're really going to do with this game.
I think they're going to recap the original story that took it up to 3, and then go beyond that with probably up to the Universal Tournament arc, like Goku versus Jiren, and then that's it. I don't think they'll catch up to where the manga is. I hope they do. Or they could just do it as DLC later, like do the Moro arc and then the Granola arc after. But
yeah, maybe.
Because there's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, no, there is. I think they wouldn't do that. If only that it would also kind of put it in almost a direct link to Kakarot, and they're like, we've already had one retelling of like the original series. I feel like with Budokai Tenkaichi, and I know the first one did it, and then I think.
Well, the first one.
Did they skip over on the second one and then redid it again on the third one? But they had like what if scenarios of like, oh, what if?
Yeah, so the first one went up to the end of the Cell games where Gohan beat Cell.
Oh, right.
The second one did up to the end of the Buu arc, but everything it did basically just the entire thing.
Series,
but one thing that was cool about 2 was that I think it had like the board game aspect to it, which was quite weird.
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm just thinking of Budokai actually, not Budokai Tenkaichi. Anyway, yeah, they did kind of go gradually in terms of the way that the story encapsulated. I know at least one of them did have like the timelines where it did splinter off. You could do like weird fights in different timelines that you wouldn't have got normally.
Yeah, I feel like that's where like maybe the inspiration for Xenoverse might have come into it. I also think 3 introduced the GT characters as well.
Yeah.
Whether they would do that here as well, debatable.
I hope they do.
But No. Well,
Super Saiyan
obviously-
4 Gogeta versus Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, personally, I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to come out. It's 100% going to be a day one. If there is any special edition, I'm buying it.
Jolly
I
good.
think so, wouldn't you? Probably like the Super
Give me
Saiyan
some
4
figures.
Goku statue or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, can he wait? So yeah, I think that's it for the news.
Shall we move on to what we currently play?
Let's do it.
Yeah, go on.
Who wants to begin?
I'll do it. I'll go first. It's been a while.
Go on, Nathan.
Oh, wait.
So, you'll have all missed my literal 2-week binge of playing nothing but Hogwarts Legacy, because when I got it, it took over my life. Honestly, when I first started playing it, it's all I could think about. When I got up in the morning, it was the second thing I thought about. The first thing was getting marmalade on toast. The second thing was Hogwarts Legacy.
Priorities. Okay.
Yeah. Got to look after number one. If I can't survive, I can't play Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah,
so,
you need fuel to get you through it. Exactly.
But honestly, I'd never been this gripped in a game before that I can remember. I just sunk my entire being into it.
Is that because she's just a big Harry Potter fan? Or is that-
Not really.
is it just a great game?
I'm not a massive Potter fan, really. I just wanted to be an evil wizard.
Beautiful.
That explains it.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it so much. Like, I enjoy the world itself, just the wonder of it all, flying around in your broom, experiencing it all. The story of it, fantastic. All the different little things you can do within the world, like there's these Merlin trials that are a bit more puzzly. There's the story itself that you have to go through. There's the combat aspects of it, which I think is great, because as you go through and go to different classes, you learn different spells, and then you can use that in the world to unlock more stuff. Going around Hogwarts, really faithful recreation of it. I just loved it. It was just a really amazing place to be. Yeah, I have tried to get 100%. I'm currently at 94%. But when I got to 94%, I found a bug. So I found that there weren't enough quests for me to complete my quest guide. I was one short. And that's because there was a glitch in the game where if you unlock this cage to free this beast, it wouldn't trigger the quest to actually do that, because you could do it externally to the quest itself. So, but they've subsequently patched it. So I need to get back on it, because I've not played it for a few weeks now. And that was the reason, because I'm like, right, if I can't 100% it, like, in my opinion, I'm wasting my time, because that was my one aim, to do everything on the game and to hopefully get that platinum if I can, which I'm fairly close to. So I'm going to get on that, and I'm going to get that platinum at some point. I do want to talk about one story that I had on it. So do you know what house elves are in Harry Potter?
Yes.
Dobby's a house elf, isn't it?
Yeah, Dobby, just like Dobby, yeah. So basically, the slaves to humans. They basically do everything that they're told. And there's this house elf called Deke, and he's got a friend that went to do some research for his family. And it was at this like, oh, you will like this map, this like spider den.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And it's quite heartbreaking, actually, because as you go through this den, you find letters from this house elf about what he's found out, his experiences. And eventually they get quite dark, because he gets quite scared, because as he's going into this lair, the spiders are getting bigger and they're starting to attack him, and he's getting injured. He gets one point where you find him and you think, oh, okay, we've got to him. We can get him back to his friend Deke and everything will be okay. But as you move closer, you find that he's actually dead, which is quite heart-wrenching. And then there's a letter next to him. And he was only partway through writing the letter when he died. But it's just him talking about how alone he feels, and that he's cold, and he just feels like there's nothing left. And he just gets partway through writing this letter and he just dies from his injuries from these spiders. They were horrible. And then literally 2 minutes after I finished that, I had to go to work. So not the best way to start the morning. But honestly, there's like little things like that you can just get lost in the side quests because they're that fantastic. If I had to explain like the play style, I'd probably say it's like a Souls game but without the hardness really, because there's the world aspect in terms of there's this massive world you can go around with all these creatures, but it's easy. And obviously, as soon as I could, I learned all the unforgivable curses, and I've used the killing curse more times than I can remember. But it does have like a 5-10 minute cooldown time, so you can't just spam it all the time, unfortunately. But yeah.
You just stood there waiting. I'm going to get you. You're my next victim.
Oh, I'm just taking
Just looking at the clock.
Well, funnily enough, I do toy around with some trolls sometimes. So if they're like chucking rocks at you, you can like grab the rock and like hit them with your own rock that they throw at you and stuff like that, which is quite fun. And sometimes I will like keep dodging them until my killing curse meter goes to the top, and I'll just finish them off with that, just for a laugh. But yeah, you can be as nice as you want to be, because when you have dialogue with different characters, you do get a choice. Some of the times I decided to be merciful, other times not. So if you go and do something for somebody, so if you go and fetch something, when you go and see him, you can say either, here you go, this is the thing that I've got for you, and they're like, oh, thank you. Or you can say, oh, it's taken me a while to do this, I think I should be compensated. So you can try and squeeze some money out of them. Or you can just say, I'm keeping this, it's mine. So yeah. I think I might have sent you guys a video of like me negotiating with this girl that I went and got these things, and basically she says, "Oh, can I have them back?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to keep them now." So, and she was like, "I hate this school." I thought they were hilarious, but anyway, yeah.
This is a bit of a bully there, Nathan.
Me? Never.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely love it to bits. I'm so happy that I bought it when I did, and that I've liked as much as I have. I'd implore anyone to get it. It's just a wonderful game. If you like Harry Potter, even better. So yeah, so I'm gonna strive to get my 100% on that when I can. So the next game I've been playing is a game that I last played probably about 8 months ago, but I've come back to recently because another game in the series has come out, and it forced me to play this one again. So it's Yakuza Like a Dragon. So you might remember that I actually got stuck on a bit of the game. I couldn't get through this fight, so I grinded for about 6 hours, and then somehow it ended up getting worse. But because the new Like a Dragon games come out, the power-ups that you can pay for have now become less than half price. So I'm like, right, I'm going to buy my way out of this.
It's what they wanted. It's what they wanted.
Well, they've got it.
Yeah,
So I bought a couple of level up packages, leveled my characters up, went in, did the fight, got that done. I was so happy, honestly. Because I thought to myself, right, you can pay £8 and get these level ups and that'd be that. Or you can grind for another 6 hours. So I was like, right, my time's worth more than that, so I'm going to just pay the money and move on. But this is the kicker. It was getting quite late by the time I'd done this, and it was quite a sizable cutscene. So I ended up falling asleep halfway through the cutscene. So I didn't see most of it. Honestly, and I woke up and it was like my character was just standing around this junkyard, and I'm like, what's happened? So I'm like, oh my goodness, Nathan, you've waited months for this, and you just fall asleep. But yeah, anyway, got through that, and then I've had to do a lot since. So basically, the antagonist in the game is vying to be like the president of Japan, and you've got to try and get a candidate that can stop them because of their evil plan. But to do that, you've got to raise 3 million yen. And at the time, I only had a couple of 100,000 yen because I spent all my money failing English lesson tests. It's
Failing English lesson test.
Yeah, basically, there's this English training course, these English training courses you can do. And they're about 50,000 yen each, but it's basically a 5-question test, and you can do them on like sports, general knowledge, like tons of different subjects, and they're just the most random questions ever. Like, how many pins is there in bowling? And like 10, obviously, I got that one right. But then it talks about baseball, which I know nothing about. Figure skating, I know nothing about. So I'll just pump in like 50,000 yen into these courses because I wanted to do them for some reason. I guess it's just Yakuza and just these weird side quests and mini games.
That's Yakuza.
Yep. Anyway, so I had to try and raise 3 million yen so we could put a candidate forward. And I did everything I could. So I did all my hero stuff. So I beat up people for other people to break money in. I've also got a rice cracker business. So I was working on that.
Rice cracker business. Nice.
Yeah. So I was working because that's like the business management side. So you've got to like hire people, upgrade your venue.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, I think about it.
Yeah. And then like expand the business and then eventually after every like quarter you've done, you get a board meeting and they ask you questions and then you pick who answers that question. Then they have faith in you or they absolutely demolish you and your company like goes down in the rankings. It started off terribly, but I got the hang of it eventually after I fired a load of people. And then the board were happy with that because obviously we have more money on the payroll. And then we started going up, and I ended up getting quite a bit of money from that, and all these little random side quests. And I managed to scrape together 3 million. I also pawned a lot of stuff as well, so I pretty much ran my business, beat people up, and sold my soul to the pawn shop to scrape this 3 million together. So now we've got enough money. Now I've got to Osaka now, where I've got to go to this Oni Alliance like headquarters to try and find my old boss, and I'm stuck on these two like boss fights at the minute. But there's this kind of what would you call it? It's like a tournament that you can enter, but you get a ton of XP from beating people in this tournament. So at the minute I'm trying to grind that to level up because I need to get to probably about level 55, 60 to beat the people that I need to proceed with the game. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've not given up just yet and bought any more level up packs, but time will tell on that one. But yeah, I do like it. I do want to buy the new Like a Dragon game. I did see it for about £43 or something on PS5, and I was quite tempted because it does look quite good. Because it's I think it's set in the feudal Japan times, so yeah, quite an interesting period. So yeah, I've been playing that. And there's one last game that I've been playing. Well, I've not played much of it, but I just want to mention it because I think it's quite funny. So I started playing Marvel vs. Capcom on the PS1. Now, just to premise this, the only reason I bought this game was because I thought you could beat Professor X up in a wheelchair.
Excuse me?
So I saw a TikTok about this game where you've got Professor Xavier in a wheelchair and you're like just decimating, just beating him to a pulp. And I thought this game looks amazing. So I looked in the comments and they said, it's Marvel versus Capcom on PS1. I'm like, right, I'm buying it. Went on eBay, spent 50 quid on it, only to find out that he's not even in the game.
Spent 50 quid?
Yeah.
Could have bought Like a Dragon Edition for that.
Well, it weren't out then. I've only just come to play it now.
You could have pre-ordered it.
I could have, yeah. I wish I had.
You should have come to me. I would have told you immediately that he's not in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, I'll know that for next time. But no, it's not. Oh yeah, it's Marvel vs. Yeah. Anyway, so I've got my little. I would just have to second guess myself. Is it Marvel vs. Capcom? It is. But anyway, I've got my team. So I play in duos. And I've got Cammy from Capcom. And Juggernaut from X-Men.
Interesting.
An unlikely duo.
Combination.
But it works. So Cammy does the kicking, Juggernaut comes in and elbows people. It's great. I've got to the third round, and then, to be honest, it got a bit difficult, so I switched it off at that point. But it's when the strain comes, it's good. Honestly, it's a good fighter. Not just because you get to see Cammy, but yeah, it's good.
I mean, that's my reason. So
yeah, I thought so. But yeah, I'll see if I can move any further on that one. But I'm disappointed that I don't get to beat a bald guy up.
Told you need X-Men Academy 2, I think it's called.
Okay, right. I'll have a look for that after the pod. No, Malik, it's going to be like 110 quid or something.
Might be. I've heard.
Them games seems to be expensive, so yeah. Anyway, and then actually just one more thing. Just a couple of things that I've actually bought. Oh. So I ended up buying PSVR 2, but not only that, I ended up buying another PS5. So.
How much money?
Well, yeah, you can transfer your save files there.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got a PS5 in the games room now and in the living room, but there's a reason for this.
Listen to him. In the games room and the living room.
Games room.
But it's because then I can there's more room in the games room because I can just move the gaming chairs back, and then I've got this space in the middle of the room that I can just
the gaming chair.
So I've got more freedom to move around and stuff rather than just being sat on the sofa. So that happened. So I've been quite frivolous with my money over the last couple of weeks. I have played a little bit of Call of the Mountain, and when I say a little bit, I mean literally 6 minutes of it. But the 6 minutes that I did play I was absolutely awestruck, because you get to see the actual scale of the beasts that are in the game, which is absolutely fantastic from what I've seen so far. Because when you're playing as Aloy and you're really powerful, you get a bit desensitized to what you're actually doing. But looking at it in VR, the place is lush, the beasts look absolutely amazing. Really early on, this, is it a tall neck? It's a tall neck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Walks over the boat that you're in. Absolutely massive. It was brilliant. But yeah, also just about the VR, the setup process is fantastic. I didn't realize it had so much tech in it and ways that you could adjust the headset to make it right for you. Just in terms of the bracket at the back where you can set that. You can change the front of it as well, just to move it closer or further away to your eyes, and then the focusing aspect of it as well, because it'll track where your eyes move as well, and you can use that within game in the menus and stuff, which were quite cool. So yeah, it's a massive step up on the original VR, and plus because it's only got one wire, absolutely, it's just easy. You just get it out of the drawer, plug it in, off you go. It's great. So having a good time with it so far. The 6 minutes that I've had. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Mark?
Oh, okay. So I went on a lovely little game called Unpacking.
Sounds like your perfect game.
Yes. So this is somewhat of a puzzle game, but it's actually more of, I guess I could say, a Zen type experience, perhaps. So the game follows a female character as she goes through a series of 8 house moves throughout her life. So, and you are tasked with unboxing her belongings and placing them in the house. So you start off with one room, and it's her first bedroom as a little kid. So obviously you've got toys everywhere, plushies, games, all that kind of stuff. But the game has some sort of algorithm to it. So it has logic to where things should be placed. So this thing should be on the shelf, this thing should be on the wall, etc. So, you don't have to be precise about where things go, but they should have... You should put them in a place where it has relative sense. And as the game goes on, she moves into different places. But the wonderful thing about it is the way the game reveals details about the character as you go through it. So by unpacking her boxes, you start to learn more as she gets older. Like what her hobbies and interests are, what jobs she does, what relationship she develops, and so on. And it's got some lovely environmental storytelling in there. So in one of them, she's moving in with a first boyfriend, and so she's moving into his apartment, and there's like, you're unpacking all this stuff, and there's like barely any room in there because he's just got all this stuff up there. So you've got to try and find places to get that. But then on the following house move, you find out she's back in a childhood home, which kind of tells you that things perhaps didn't go so well with that relationship. But one nice little detail is that if you take a photograph that you unpack, you put it on the corkboard, you can see the pin's been put through the ex-boyfriend's face.
Oh.
It's just little details like that that kind of give away like things that have happened. That's really nice, that. And as you go through, the moves get progressively bigger, as you might expect. So you have more rooms, more boxes, and more items to unbox. And occasionally they have this thing where you might find a stray item, like in a box somewhere else. So you might find a frying pan in a box in the bathroom or something like that, and then you've got to put it in the correct place. There's a few nice little trophies in there as well, so for doing like silly things. So you can like write equations on the fridge with fridge magnets, and that'll give you a trophy. Or like solving a Rubik's cube that you've opened up. Now my method for actually when I played it was just to open all the boxes and chuck everything on the floor, because basically what the game does is that once you've unpacked all the boxes, it will highlight everything that it thinks is in a bad place. So then you know. So then you can just organize everything more clearly. I mean, it's not hugely long. It's about 3. Actually, it probably took me near 4 hours. But it's a lovely little relaxing game. There's a nice little story being told there, and I'd encourage people to give it a try. To be honest, I found it a really nice little experience.
What platform did you play it on?
I played it on PS5, but you can get it on all sorts. I think it would have been something good on the Switch. The only minor quibble I've got is that sometimes, because it's like a pixelated art game, sometimes you don't really know what it is you've unpacked. So sometimes you might know I don't know where that's supposed to go because I don't know what it is. So sometimes it can be a bit of a trial and error if you can't recognise it. But that's my only quibble. But it's lovely, and the music's very nice as well. It's really good. Now, we're going to move on to a big game that I've started playing, and that is Gran Turismo 7.
Did you get it because of VR?
Well, partly, but that's not the main. That's not the only reason. So, of course, this is the latest installment of the real driving simulator, as they call it. So when you start playing it, you are thrown into a thing called the Music Rally, which is basically you race around a track to the beat of a piece of music. And I had a lovely time bopping along to remix classical themes. And basically all you do is you go around a series of checkpoints and then you accumulate time until you finish it. So you start off with 60 seconds, go through your checkpoints, you get 30 seconds each time, and then obviously complete the race, blah, 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 blah. So that's the first bit. And then once you've done that, it becomes the game has possibly the most irritating intro of any game I've ever crossed in my entire life. So,
Wow.
so basically what happens is you get a never-ending opening credit sequence that you can't skip, right? So it has this montage of it's like old vintage photos of like the development of cars throughout the years. So back in black and white photos and all that.
Oh, okay.
And it's got all the credits of people who made the game and all that. And it goes on forever. It's so long. And then that came to an end. And I thought, oh, okay. Because there's a bit at the end where it blends into not photo footage to like computer graphics, CG stuff. I thought, oh, okay, right, we're getting into the game now. Oh, no, that goes into a CG trailer that lasts another stupid amount of time that you can't skip. In total, this entire sequence probably lasted at least 10 minutes of unskippable stuff. And it was pointless. I don't understand why it was there, but it just annoyed me. But eventually I got over that.
Did you ever get a trophy for it?
No, no, you don't get anything for that, no. Okay, so then I got into the proper stuff. So Now, I've played a bit of Gran Turismo back on the PS1 days. I think I played the second one. Since then, I've not really played any, I don't think. But on this one, so I don't know how much this relates to the other game since. But so you have basically a world map. It's called the world map, but it's not a world map. It's just the area where you are. I don't know. It's just basically an area, and it's got like, I don't know, 8 or 9 bits you visit and things like that. So I'll just go over basically a few of the ones that you come across. So you've got you start off obviously with the used car dealership, because you've got to buy a car obviously, and you can't buy a brand spanking new car. You've got to get some trash to begin with. So I ended up buying trash. So I ended up buying a Toyota Aqua S11 in a rather lovely orange colour, and that was my first car. You get a choice of like 3. And then my journey to world domination began. So amusingly, the ranking system of the cars is using a rating called the PP rating, which stands for performance points. But I just find that childishly amusing. That's called PP rating. Then you've also got a place called the Brand Central, and that's where you get your flashy cars. That's where you get your fancy stuff. Ooh. So all the well-known car makers are there selling their high-end stuff at extortionate prices. Though I do have my eye on an Aston Martin DB11. I do love it. Very nice. I do love an Aston Martin, and it's at a very reasonable 238,000 credits. I only need about 16,000 more. Although I am a bit worried that I'll just buy it with 0 credits, and then the game will ask me to buy something at such and such price, and then I'll have no credits, and then I'll have to go back and do measly little tasks, to get that money back. But we'll see about that. But then also you got the tuning shop, because it's a car game. You've got to have a tuning shop, of course. So this is where you get your technical parts, obviously, for your car, to improve your performance. It's always bothered me, tuning stuff in games. I mean, it's great that it's there, but it's all just too technical and complex for me to care. It's like tweak this and that to make this better, and I don't know. Yeah. And I just don't know the ins and outs of it. But this is where the PP rating comes in handy, because basically that's just like an overall rating of the car. So generally, if the PP rating is going up, that's good. So that's all you need to know, really. So just make that go up. And there you go.
So it's a bit like Forza then, where you can see you've got that number.
Yeah, pretty
much. It's
like
999, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like that. Then you got a place called the GT Auto, which is basically where you maintain the car. So over time, your cars can degrade after like multiple uses. So you just do things like oil changes and that kind of thing, refills. And you can even wash the car if you so wish for a measly 50 credits. There's also customization. So this is things like aesthetics. So change the colour of your car, wheel trims, liveries, I don't know how you want to pronounce that. And then there's driving gear, which I like. I don't know if this was a previous thing, but you can change the like your helmet design. You can put liveries on that, and even like your race suit as well. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Which brings me on to the showcase, which is another bit you can go to. And that's where you can download other people's designs, a bit like Horizon that we just spoke. But there you can get liveries, decals, race suits as well. I did spot one that you guys might appreciate, is that you can get Mario's plumber outfit. That's nice. Somebody's made. And Matt, you might like, I saw someone did a Spider-Man design as well. That was pretty cool.
Ah, cool.
And then, of course, you've got the License Centre, because you can't have a Gran Turismo game without the License Centre, can you? Because I remember this being a real bugbear. And one of the things that I probably didn't like about playing Gran Turismo back in the day, because I just weren't very good when it comes to the licenses. So you've got to earn 5 licenses. Well, I don't know if you've got to, but there's 5 licenses to earn. So you've got the National B, the National A, the International B, International A, and the Super License. Because I remember that. Yeah, I remember the Super License. Never got that in my entire life. So I've managed to complete the National A and National B with not too many problems, surprisingly. I don't think that'll continue. I think we'll come to some issues later down the line. Then we've got something called Scapes, which is a weird word. Scapes. Basically, it's like a photographer's dream, this bit. So you stick your car in a fancy location and you can take a photograph of it. That's basically what it is.
Wow.
And weirdly, the crux of the game is in a bit called the cafe. Right. So this is a place where you can meet random people there. Well, you don't meet them. They're just buttons that you press with their faces on. And they will give you random facts about the car so whatever car you're currently driving, they will just give you a random fact about it. And they'll just spout them at you for reasons. I mean, I guess it's interesting for like car aficionados, but for me, I just nod and smile. And then the main tasks you get from the game are actually given to you by a series of menus in this cafe, which sounds weird, but basically, so this is where your main missions that don't really work, but your main tasks you will be given will be given to you. So for in the early stages that I found is that it'll be a case of earn these 3 cars by finishing these 3 races in the top 3. Right, and then you go do your race, and then you come back, and then you move on to the next one. Every time you complete a menu, you'll get another one. Every time you go back, and you just keep going up and things like that. And then finally, obviously, you got the world circuit. So this is where all your races are. So this is the actual globe, and you can choose Asia, America, and
Europe.
Yeah, Europe. So that's the meat of the game. Surprisingly, they do actually give you quite a lot of cars in this early on. Well, I'm wondering whether this is just to lure me into a false sense of security by doing it early on. Because I mean, that's the great thing about Horizon, isn't it? Is that they will give you cars on the regular. But in Gran Turismo, I've always thought it's basically, oh, no, we're going to give you no freebies. You're going to earn every cent. And then you're going to have to buy trash to then buy something slightly better trash to then eventually get something decent. But you get some nice little runners. And you get, so basically, as these menus things, where it says you collect 3, finish 3 races, you get 3 cars. It's really quite simple to do that. So you can actually amass quite a collection of cars. And you get a rating. Every time you get more cars, you get like a collector rating. And I think you unlock, like, I don't know what, but you unlock something the more your collector rating goes up. Now, in terms of the gameplay, I expected, looks superb. It's Gran Turismo. Of course it does. Authentic. Attention to details, fantastic. Plays really well, lots of options. So, if you're not too good at racing games, obviously you got your assists, your braking assists and your racing lines and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I do really like is because there's a lot of menus. There's a lot of menus in this game. And actually, one thing I don't like is there seems to be a lot of excessive button pressing. So it's like when you finish a race, you have to press probably about 6. You have to press the X buttons probably like 6 times to get back to the main world map bit, and it's just pointless. I don't understand it. There's too many menus to go through. Like, do you know when you any racing game, you finish a race and it'll give you like a ranking. It'll say, oh, you completed it this amount of time, you've earned this amount of credits, and you've done this such and such. It took you this much amount of time or whatever. And after every one, you have to press X, and it's just do it. Just press X once, show them all, and then press X again, and then let's just move on. I don't need to keep pressing it. Come on. Redundant actions. Come on. But anyway, but one thing I do like is that there is basically, so when you pick up one of these menus, and then it says, oh, you have to complete these 3 races. The game does put like a compass item over the place you need to go. So basically, it's telling you where you need to go in order to do this task. And I quite like that. It's easy to navigate, and they stand out. So I can just go into the world circuits bit. I know which area to go to. I know which races exactly to choose, and then I can just do it. It's really simple. Whereas previously, I think I remember, it's just like, I complete this and this and this, and I just don't know what I'm supposed to do, where to go. That's one problem with Gran Turismo in general. I think there's just been far too many menus. It's difficult to read things. if you're not technically minded, if you're not like car aficionado. But then, of course, as you mentioned, I did try it with VR. Holy moly! Whew. So there's actually 2 bits that you could do with VR. So obviously there's the racing, but first I did the VR showroom. So basically you go to the what's it called, the brand central bit, and you can have a look at any car really. So think of it as a test drive, except you don't drive it. So basically you get to look at any car you want, and you can put it in it a bunch of environments. So they offer you, I don't know, like 10 environments that you can put it in, and like near landmarks and that kind of thing. And basically it just puts you standing next to the car, and it looks insane. It's like you're actually just standing by a car. And what's great is that if you press triangle, it puts you inside it, and it's just astonishing. It's so hard to describe to you how realistic it feels for you to be sat in that car. And what's great is that you can change the lighting as well. So if you change the lighting, it changes all the lighting outside, and it just makes the car look even cooler. Things like you can turn the headlights on and indicators, that kind of stuff. You can't flip the boots open or anything like that, which is a disappointment, but you can't have everything, I guess. But that's just really cool. And then, of course, you get to the racing. That is insane. It's mad. So in the races, you start from a rolling start in a lot of races. So that when you're on the main menu and all that, that's in 2D. So you've got your flat screen, and then you'll be like when you start the race, it'll be like 3, 2, and then suddenly it just throws you into the car. And it's like, oh my god, as you're just looking all around you, and it's maddening, and just the sense of speed. I'll say that I'm poking around in my little Toyota. I'm not exactly in a Pagani Zonda at the moment, but when I get to that point, I know that's going to be even crazier. And it's just the clarity is superb. It's better than any VR game I've previously, from the previous PSVR that I've ever seen. Just the ability to look around like through the windows, like other people, like going see ya as you go charging past them, and like you can look through the back window and things like that. But one thing that I really love is the mirrors. The mirrors are so realistic. You can look in the mirrors and it's realistic. It's like you're actually looking at a proper mirror, and you know exactly where your opponents are. And obviously you can get a better sense of like depth, when it comes to like corners and that kind of thing. And then just that one thing that does stand out is like that sort of feeling of I don't know what the term is, but that when your stomach goes a bit mental when you go down a slope.
Oh yeah.
You can feel that. I was going around Brands Hatch, and I just went, oh, as I'm going down that slope, and it's mad.
It's like you get that bit of G-force in your stomach.
Yeah,
drops.
exactly. Even though I know I'm not going down the hill, but it just fools your brain into thinking you are. But I have to say, I think I could do like 5 races, and then I have to stop and give it a bit of a break. But yeah, it's so good. I'd love to get a wheel for it, like a proper steering wheel and all that, but they're so high priced. They're so expensive, and I can't really justify it for one game.
Yeah, because you're looking about 300 quid for a decent one, aren't you? So
yeah, or even more. It depends, cause if you get the proper rig, the pedals. I mean, I won't get a shift stick because I just do auto without. But
flappy paddles.
Oh yeah, flappy paddles. Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, calm down.
But that's just amazing. But yeah, it's just incredible. Play it. But the thing is, what I'm surprised, I did initially get it. Thought, maybe because it's VR. Everyone's banging on about VR is really good. It is good. But I'm actually really enjoying playing it just in normal as well, which is great. Because I was a bit worried that maybe it wouldn't be as accessible as something like Horizon. But it is. It's actually I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it actually.
Oh, nice.
But there's one bizarre thing that I've noticed, that if you're on like the world map bit, and then you just leave the game for a minute or so, it'll start putting this screensaver on. And he'll just start telling you random facts about stuff that's not related to cars or anything at all. It's like I found out that Windows XP went on sale in 2001. I don't know why the game decided to just tell me that. He just came up with a picture of Bill Gates and say 2001 and just told me that fact. I was like, what's this got to do with cars at all? And then in 1997, 31 million people tuned into the funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales. But I don't know why. I'm just like, why are you telling me this stuff? I don't know.
It's raising your pub quiz level, mate. So
true.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I don't understand why it's there. But there you go. So anyway, that's my experience with Gran Turismo 7. I'm really liking it. I'd like to do a bit more of that. And I played. I played one other thing. And of course, because I've got the PSVR 2, what did I play? Job Simulator.
Hold on. We've not even established the fact that 2 weeks ago you were like...
Well. I got... My defense, I said Job Simulator could convince me to get the PSVR 2. And it did. I know I'm fickle, Matthew, but there you go.
Between you and Nathan, much money was spent.
I blame Nathan.
You blame Nathan?
Do you know what? I blame me too.
Yeah, there we go. But of course, yes, I played Job Simulator because I had to. There's not much really I can say. It's like, my love for it. I love it so much that I actually platinumed it for the second time.
Second time.
Yeah.
Fair enough, mate.
Although, to be honest, it's an easy platinum, so it didn't take that much work. But
I might have to get it then. Nice easy platinum.
No, don't tell him about easy planets.
The planet, it's just a great game anyway. I'm telling you, you'd love it. You'd enjoy it.
I probably would if I was spare.
I'm telling you would. Well, just get the PSVR version.
It's not the same, is it? You're going to tell me it's not the same.
Well, fair enough, but just get it anyway.
Dust that PSVR off that's not been touched for 2 years.
My only disappointment with it is it doesn't really, or I didn't really notice it anyway, is that it doesn't really utilize the haptics in the sense controller much. It's just like a clearer game, basically.
Yeah.
Which is all fine and good. I'm happy to play Job Simulator. I'm just happy to be able to play it much easily now. Because as you say earlier, Nathan, it's so easy just to play the PSVR 2 now. Just like literally one cable, you just pop straight in. It's just it's more simple. But no, that's what I've been playing. So go on, Matt. What you played?
Well, I can definitely tell you I've not bought PSVR 2, so I'm not quite fallen for that yet. So
Fallen for it.
Well, I'm not saying fallen for it. I'd say so.
You to be honest, let's be honest, you've probably done the smarter thing. Because there's not enough games to be able to play.
Wait. I'm sure for now it is probably phenomenal. I would like to play Call of the Mountain and obviously Resident Evil Village has come out on it as well, so I'd love to give that a go at some point. So
I'm not touching that. No chance.
It's an action game.
It's an action game.
Well,
it's just light horror elements. There's only one section that'd be terrible. So.
What, the entire game?
Yeah.
Yes.
From start to finish.
So, what have I been playing? So, like, I suppose Nathan, I would say that the same day it dropped, but the next day it dropped, I immediately installed the Resident Evil 4 demo. Wanted to give it a go. Oh yeah. Yeah. So my thoughts on it is like, I'm already loving this. I can already tell this might be my favorite game of the year. And it's only a demo.
Gonna be shocked. It's not like you're not looking forward to it or anything.
No, it's not like I've already got it in pre-order and have a week off for it. So I think as Nathan's already mentioned, you play as Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 2. You're going through, it's chapter 1. You're going through a little kind of village path, going into the house. I loved how detailed everything is immediately. Like the woods are just completely, or able to have this like atmosphere of terror and dread. Especially when, like, if you compare it to playing the original Resident Evil 4, there's so much detail to it. And I like the little differences here and there that they've made to it. So kind of, Leon comes across his first villager. The villager's not really respondent. And then, kind of out of the blue, he attacks you. You give him a round next kick, and then he breaks his neck, and you think, okay, that's fine. So you get the key off him that takes you further down to the basement. You look through, you find one of the dead officers there, and then you hear another officer coming through the radios, kind of in distress. So you turn around, you want to try and get back upstairs, but then that villager comes back and is essentially kind of snaps neck and having tendrils coming out of his neck, which is a bit of a visual. One lie, it was kind of a little difficult, this first villager, trying to kill him.
Yeah, it did go down easy.
Yeah, it took a couple of bullets. So I did him, went upstairs, sneaked through. There's a wall that had been smashed through, so I kind of made my way through there. Went upstairs, had a talk with Roost over the phone. Not over the phone, over the communication, I suppose it is, who is known as Hunnigan. You confirm your suspicions that the president's daughter is in the village somewhere, and then you kind of get ambushed a little bit, but then you just kind of leg it anyway. So then you make your way through another sort of path. You come across a few more villages you have to take on. You have to dodge a couple of bear traps as well. Hope you don't get stuck.
I got snapped by one of them. Did you manage to dodge him?
No, I managed to dodge him. I was like, I know this game. If there's anything like the original, there's going to be some bear traps somewhere. And funnily enough, I almost walked into one, to be fair. It was a little difficult to see it at first, but I was like, oh, well. So I was like, right, I'm going to walk around that. And then, opened the village gate, went over to look at what was going on in the middle of the village square. Of course, you see the poor police officer, the other police officer getting burnt to crisp. And then it's pretty much survival mode from there on, unless you want to try and... I tried to stealth this as much as I could, because you can stealth. There's like a crouch button you can get, so you can get behind villagers and essentially shank them in the neck if you wanted to. But then I tried going up more on the paths and bump into another villager who was like, right, well, this is going to set everyone else off. So yeah, I was pretty much going through survival mode. Right into a house that I know is very specific from the original that triggers a cutscene where you kind of get yourself in, but then it triggers Mr. Dr. Salvador with his chainsaw, who's wanting to kill you.
My mate.
Your mate. Yep. Him who's going to help
Sidekick.
you. Yep. The sidekick that hurts you. But in that house as well, there's a shotgun that you can pick up. So I was like, yep, gonna grab this, gonna grab the frag grenade, gonna start unleashing hell on everyone. And then you have to really, it's just about kind of survival. You don't actually have to kill anyone, technically. You just have to survive for an amount of time. But it's not as fun if you don't kill anyone, because then you don't get as much as currency out of the game.
Pesetas, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually, pesetas. So you survive through for a number of time, and then you start hearing church bells ringing, and then all the ganados suddenly stop, and it like triggers a infamous cutscene from the original where Leon just sees all these ganados kind of walk past him and go into this like bell tower, and kind of close the door behind him. And he's pretty much like, where's everyone going? Bingo, and that's it. And that line from the original, they've kept in this one as well. So they're really kind of trying to keep...
Hang on, is that the end of the demo?
That's the end of the demo.
That's the last thing I said.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a cracking final line.
Yeah. Where's everyone going? Bingo? So, yeah. So that's how you can end it. And through this village part, I loved all the little different details and stuff that I found that you could do. So there's a particular tower that you can climb up into, and you can get is it Pesatas? Sorry,
Pesetas.
Pesetas. In the original, you could get like handgun ammo, but in the original, you could actually camp up there, and you just like the Ganados come up the ladder, you can just knife them off, and you just keep on going like that. Although they eventually started throwing grenades in at some point. But in this one, it subverts your expectation, thinking you could do the same thing. But if you went out to get the currency and you kind of walk back a little bit, the floor falls in on itself. So now it's like, you thought you could stay here. Actually, we kind of messed with you a little bit. Now you got to try and survive another way. So I like how it did that.
They didn't want people cheesing it.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, when I was playing the demo, I did find if I didn't walk too far over and I kept kind of near the ladder, it wouldn't fall in. So I kept on like cheesing it. Maybe they might fix that in the demo, in the full game. I'm not sure. But, I kind of hope they don't. It's a nice little nod, but it does wear away your knife durability. So as much as I was doing that, like my knife was starting to get weared out. So I was like, oof, this isn't good. But no, I really enjoyed myself with the demo, and I'm pretty much now looking forward to the main course really once the game comes out. I did read a little bit into some extra stuff that's in this demo as well. That there's a certain point, so before you open the village gates, if you were to drop everything out of your case, so discard your weapons, discard the handgun, discard the knife, discard any herbs you've got, any ammo you've got, and whatnot, and you go through the gate and do like the village stuff. There's this well system that opens up only specifically if you've dropped everything. And if you go down and in it, you can find this like submachine gun that you can use, which is pretty cool. It's like a little like secret that you can do.
Question: can you then go back and collect the things you picked up?
No, once the gates, that's it.
Oh, right.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a nice little secret and stuff. And there's also a extra hard mode only made for the demo that happens. From what everyone's found out, it happens at random. So you essentially have to start a new game, go through a couple of windows, and if I think it's called the Mad Chainsaw mode. If this screen doesn't appear, then you've not unlocked the mode. You have to essentially go back and do a new game again on the demo. You have to like quit out, go through a new one. You have to keep on doing that until the screen pops up. But essentially what happens is enemies are a lot more tougher, and Dr. Salvador has like a new look, and his chainsaw's kind of like flamed. So it's like a extra hard mode for this demo that I've seen people do. Like someone has managed to do it in like 8 minutes, which is impressive. Hacks, yeah. You can only finish the demo then by actually killing the doctor. You can't cheese and just try and survive as long as you can. You have to kill him. So a lot of people like suggest you have to do this submachine gun route, because the submachine guns apparently just shreds through the enemies quickly. But no, absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the full game. So what else have we been playing? I have been going through Yakuza 4 from a previous attempt. So I think previously I got to playing as the third main protagonist, which was Masayoshi Tanamura, who was the young rookie cop who's got a bit of a corrupt side to him, but he's got a bit of a heart of gold. He's looking for what happened to his father 25 years ago that ties into Sejima, who is the second protagonist you play as. Managed to finish his chapter. You kind of find basically more shenanigans happens. Someone who was tied into it that's part of the Johto clan was also tied with someone on the police force. So you start finding out basically that like Tojo and the police have like somehow been working together for reasons that are unknown at this point. So that leaves Tanemura, last protagonist. Finally, the series is, legendary character, Kazuma Kiryu. Get to finally play as him in his chapters. So what his story is and how he's all connected to it is someone who escaped the Osaka penitentiary with Sajima has found this file that seemingly has evidence that connects the Tojima clan and the police force together. He washes up on shore in front of Kiryu's orphanage that he's been running ever since Yakuza 3. And apparently this guy was actually someone from that third game as well. Apparently, like, mortally wounded Kiryu, like, with a knife stab. I can't remember. Like, it was like, did that happen? Really? Okay. And Kiryu can, like, somehow forgive him, but Hakura, who's his adopted daughter, can't. And basically, this whole file essentially brings Kiryu back to Kamurocho, basically. So a lot of his chapters is essentially trying to work out basically what's going on. There's something that's tying these two parties together that also links what happened in the first game with this like 10 billion yen that went missing. So that's a lot of what his chapters is. I've completed his chapters, and then I've eventually gone to this final chapter where you end up playing as all 4 characters, and they all have their own, like, I suppose, antagonists that they have to fight on top of Millennium Tower, which is strange enough. Like, basically, all this, like, a lot of this money that Akiyama had, who was the first protagonist you play as, gets stolen by the Tojo clan, but then gets returned. But then he puts it on top of Millennium Tower to, like, attract basically everyone who wants this money, is in effect. So that happens, and then all 4 main characters come in on a helicopter that essentially blows all this money around Kamurocho, which is like, yep, it's very Yakuza. So essentially you play as each character then with their own kind of antagonist that they have to fight. So, like, I think Kuriyama had someone from the Tojo clan who was like a twist character, essentially was like playing double agent sort of thing on between his alliances and with the Tojo and then the Omni as well. So he like ends up fighting him. Sajima fights, I forget who Sajima fights, like this tough dude who's quite similar to him. Kiryu fights the leader of the Tojo clan, just as almost like a sign of respect and like respect, but like, what were you doing? You're being stupid, basically. So Kiryu has to like straighten him out, in effect. And then like the last fight, which is the most annoying fight, it took me a couple of tries, which you play as Tanemura, and you're fighting like the police chief, who's like, oh, you've been the idiot that's essentially caused all this. But he ends up surrounding himself with about 20 police guards that you have to get through, and there's like 3 specific ones that will protect him at all times with knives. That took me an age because it wore through all my health. I tried playing it as almost like I was playing like Kiryu. I was trying to just like button mash my way through it, and I learned very quickly, like, with how this character plays, where he's very kind of counter-attack, hit and run style, where you go in with a few hits and you just kind of pull out quickly. It took me a couple of tries. It took me a couple of tries to get it down, because it's like I could get it down to like just the guards with the knives, but they were being absolutely annoying. And then the police chief is shooting you with a gun as well. So like at all times, like you're getting like either shot at or you're getting knifed, and it was irritating, absolutely irritating. But I eventually got through it, and I can say that I completed the campaign of Yakuza 4.
Right.
So I've done that. I'd probably rate it above Yakuza 3, just because of it feels a little bit more up to date in terms of sort of gameplay style, graphically about the same, but the story was interesting enough that it's like you got this dynamic of 4 different characters. How do they all link to one another, and where does the story all go in typical Yakuza fashion? It has twists and turns, like it always does. So from Yakuza 4, I've then jumped straight into Yakuza 5.
The obsession with Yakuza with you two is just beyond. It's
Well,
mental.
To be fair, I've got my own little. I've almost made a little bet to myself that I bet I could complete the entire Yakuza series before Nathan gets to complete Like a Dragon.
Is that it now?
But like
Okay.
he has just got these level up stuff, so now
Well,
I'm a bit worried. So I don't
Are
think
you
I'm gonna.
are you including the Judgment series in that?
I kind
Because
of
two of them.
I kind of want to. I mean, I think Lost Judgment came after Like a Dragon, so I might be able to get away with not doing that before that. But we'll see. I'm on a bit of a Yakuza fix again. Like I dropped it for a little while. I think I needed a bit of a break, and I'm like, okay, I need to come back into it.
It feels like I can't play these games now, because if I did, we'd just be non-stop talking about Yakuza all the time.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be right. So yeah, so Yakuza 5 now. I think this is about two. It starts off about 2 years after Yakuza 4, and you've got the whole multi-protagonist thing going again. So in this one, you start off playing as Kiryu, but he's in a different city this time. So you actually get to start visiting different cities. So it's at least it feels a little bit fresh. I'm like, okay, it's different layout. All right, some of the stuff are probably the same, eating and stuff like that. So he's in a city called Nagasugai, I think it is Nagasugai, but he's got a different name. He's essentially kind of stripped his ties away of being a Yakuza, and now he's just a regular old taxi driver. Which is interesting, you know. You get to do little like taxi missions, which are a bit annoying at first because they're very strict in kind of how you have to
I
be.
thought you were going to say taxi in there.
I missed it. I missed my chance. So you start doing that kind of stuff, and then his whole story is the Tojo clan are trying to make alliances with this city's family, which is the Yamagaza family, because there's the ongoing war again between Tojo and Omni Alliance, as there always is. I think it's something to do with the leader of the Omni Alliance is very ill, and essentially like the next person to like succeed them essentially wants all-out war. So the Tojo clan are like, right, we need to get as many alliances as possible. But the Yamagaza family aren't too keen about it, really. And most of like Kiryu's story in these like 4 chapters is essentially kind of why is he tied into all this? Why is he need to be involved? So you start finding out that the chairman of the Tojo clan disappears. The next person underneath him becomes the action chairman, and then as typical, there's twists and turns about betrayals and backstabbing and whatnot, which seems to bring Kiryu back into needing to sort stuff out. So that's essentially his kind of part of the chapters that I've completed. I've moved on to the second one, who is back to Sajima, who at the start he has like one last day in Kamurocho before he decides he's going to go back into prison to finish off his sentence, in effect. So he has to finish like another 2 to 3 years. But he's promised that when he leaves, or when he gets out, he'll be made a captain in the Jojo clan. So he has like one last sort of night in Kamurocho. He spends most of it with Majima, who, you know, they were best friends 25 years ago, which is kind of the whole story of 4. They decide to have one last fight, although Majima doesn't think he's got that kind of fight in him left, so he just has his family fight Sajima instead, just for giggles. can't do that. You go back to penitentiary. About 2 years later goes by. You're getting close to parole, but this group in the penitentiary are like essentially torturing Sajima almost every day for reasons. It seems as though they want to like mess with him, trying to keep him from getting parole potentially. And then again, twists and turns happens. You and an inmate manage to escape, and you need to find. Essentially, you find out why it's the Tojo clan wanted to keep you in prison, because he gets expelled as a family member. So you leave. You escape on a snowmobile. You get chased down of it, and then you eventually get rescued into this village. And this is probably the part of Yakuza 5 that's really irritated me at this point, because you could probably skip this, but I wanted to try and complete this to see kind of where it would go and if it would give me some extra. So you get rescued by this village, and then you find out this village is being like terrorized by a man-eating bear. Then you end up having to fight before you get rescued. You're in a fist fight with a bear. That's interesting. Somehow survive it. And then you start doing a series of these hunting missions where you have to go through this mountain trail and just start hunting animals and that. I was just like, okay, why? It's like, it's a really tedious thing that they've added to it. I don't know why. Like, I think there's an option to be able to skip it eventually. You have to do a couple missions before your inmate like recovers, and then you can leave to go to the nearest town. But I wanted to like get through it because like I want to know what the story, like what's the story about this village? Like, is there anything like needed really for like Sajima's kind of story? I know you kind of really find out about the village. It's got this one hunter got shunned by the village, but he's obsessed with this, like taking down this bear. And you're doing like these various missions of like catching different animals. Then you start learning how to take down a bear. Then this other hunter comes in because he's heard about this bear that gets involved and almost puts the village in trouble. And I don't know. I feel like if you end up getting to this part, really, unless you like trophy hunting, which I'm not really doing in Yakuza because they just take forever and they're probably too much of a time sink to platinum. I would get to the point where you can go to town and then you can probably just skip. You'd honestly just skip because I don't think it really gives you anything other than there is a guy in the village that's supposedly a master that you can learn different moves from, but I've not learned like the requirements to even start doing that. Like he wanted something, I couldn't work it out, and by the end I was just like, I don't care. I want to get on with the story at this point. You're slowing me down. I need to get to like a dragon at some point. So yeah, so I've finally gone to this new city. I forgot what it's called. Tsuki Maiko, something like that. Tsuki Maiko, something like that. But the whole point is you're gonna find this family that's supposedly done this, was the reason for the hit on Sajima in penitentiary. So I'm just trying to find out more clues on what's going on there. So that's pretty much where I've left Yakuza 5. Gonna hopefully play more of that, see where else it goes, and yeah, hopefully I can get to 6. At least with 5, again, gameplay wise, it seems to be another upgrade over what 4 was. So like 5 feels closer to how Yakuza 0 feels without being on the new engine. It's like pretty close, but there's still weird stuff here and there on it. But no, I'm enjoying myself through the Yakuza series. See if I can get through it. Hopefully I can get to 6, and then I'd probably move it into Judgment, and then it would be Like a Dragon, and then Lost Judgment, and then Ishin eventually.
Nice. But if you like fighting bears, you fight tigers and diggers and stuff in Like a Dragon. So yeah,
you do fight tigers in. It's either Kiwami, it might be 0 or Kiwami 2. I can't remember. So that's good. And that's what I've been playing.
Jolly good. If you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com, where we post the Hall of Fame. Also feel free to follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.